Let's go. That's all we're going to do. That's all we're going to do. Welcome to another episode of the Lucrative podcast. I am the host, the one, the only Magneto7 in the building. That's me. That's me. That's him. So, hopefully, our week was amazing. This has been cool. It's been cool. I'm doing a new format for the podcast this season. Sean J should be back. Everybody that loves Sean J on YouTube, on Facebook, everybody, he will be back at some point, but I just don't know what some point is. So you got me for now. You got this big head for now. But anyway, welcome to another episode. I got TikTok, I got Facebook, I got IG. Everybody's in the building. So I had a lot of feedback on YouTube, especially on last week's episode about the disposable man. And I felt like I did a good job providing context, but for some of y'all that did not really kind of say listen, I'm not trying to make it sound like you're slow. I'm not saying that. But for everybody that didn't read between the lines, all right, so what I was saying, I'll backtrack and we'll talk about this week's subject. But anyway, the disposable man, I was just saying I want us all to do a better job of trying to fight the stereotypes, especially for black men, right? Because I feel like R.I.P. Kevin Samuels. I think, like I said before, his motives was good. The direction, the way he may have talked to the women, maybe a little bit harsh, right? Maybe a little bit harsh, but the actual context, I can appreciate the context. So, with the disposable man and all the clips that I was posting on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all those places, I had a guy to respond. I might try to find his name before the end of the pod, but he responded to me on Facebook, and he was saying that, I get it. I get the idea of the disposable man, but most men look at women as parking spaces. So I was like, I like what you just said. And most of the time when people try to make comments, I get it. Y'all trying to go back and forth with me because y'all like how spicy I can be. I get it. I understand. But I kind of want to dig in on what he was saying with that. Because, yeah, with the disposable man, I'm not saying all men are acting disposable. I'm not saying that all women treat men as disposable men. But I was just saying, in the society that we live in now, manhood being a pro man is not celebrated, right? And we see it firsthand. When's the last time you saw, and I'm not saying nothing about gay people, I love gay people, whatever, but when's the last time you saw anything that was celebrating just manhood, like the old country type of man, like to go out in the woods and chop some wood up, catch a deer with his bare hands, strangle the deer down, like, and then throw it out and skin it. All that stuff that they do. I'm not gonna catch no deer. I'm just saying. But when is the last time certain things like that was celebrated, and men protecting their families? When's the last time that was celebrated? I think a lot of people continue the idea that men are celebrated, and as much as we celebrate them, that's it. Don't say nothing else. For me, I'm going to scream it from the hilltops of the mountain. Like, it's a lot of good men out here that's doing their part, and that's actually trying to advance their families and advance their friend groups, advance their jobs. And when I say advance their jobs, I'm not saying them, like, move up the corporate ladder, but, like, whatever space they go into, they make it a better situation. There are a lot of men out here that's just doing their thing. And for y'all fellas, guess what? Uncle Nito celebrates you. Because it ain't easy. It is not easy being a man. All right, so Now that I got that out the way, the disposable man was last week. This week, this is a long title. Women are not parking lots. Women are not parking spaces. Or can we say? Let me say the parking space woman. The parking space woman to be this week's subject, right? All right, so the meaning of this, and when he said that, I was just thinking like, okay, how many women are accepting a lesser commitment from a man because they feel like either the man can't provide, either the man's not in the best space that he needs to be in to be with them in a relationship, a marital relationship, or they just don't view relationships the same like they used to back in the day. All right, so when that comment was posted on my feed, I would think how many guys are in these relationships, or how many women are in relationships with fellas, and they have been in for 5, 8, 10, 20 years, and not even suggested the idea of marriage, or not even suggested or required for the man to put the ring on the finger. It ain't got to be a big ring. Just put a little ring on the finger. Put a little bit of ring on the finger. I think it's a little bit sad because I do believe that some women are getting into the space where they are forcing themselves, or not even forcing themselves, they have to be the strong woman power to provide for themselves, provide for their kids if they got kids already. And they can't depend on the man because they feel like a man's not trustworthy. I get it. A lot of us fellas have done some random stuff. I'm not cussing this season, so if y'all looking for me to cuss, you ain't gonna get me. YouTube, you ain't gonna demonetize me. But a lot of women are looking for men in random places, i.e., if you think you're gonna find a good man, at the club, possibly, it's possible. Just know that if you found him in the club, more than likely you're gonna have to keep clubbing when you get in a relationship with the man. It came with the territory. It's like meeting. You're not gonna have a crackhead man to go date a woman in the church. It just don't link up. If the man smoke crack, the woman smoke crack. Perfect match made in heaven. It's bad, but I'm just saying, like, you can't have those two dynamics existing in the same space and think that it's gonna be a good situation. Another thing, you can't have a man that does not value, and I want to choose my words very slowly, but you're not gonna have a man that does not value his mom or values his family and think that you're gonna be valued. That ain't the way that works. With a lot of fellas, and I'll let you into my world. I let y'all into my world every week. You know, I want some of y'all to let me into y'all world. But anyway, me growing up in Carolina, I knew 3 things, right? 3 things. I knew you got to trust God. You know, some people might want to fight me on that. That's fine. You want to make sure you have good morals as far as not stealing and stuff like that. And then you want to love your family, right? Loving your family. All those 3 things is like the pinnacles of, or the pillars of being a good person overall, right? So you take this, you remove one of those pillars, i.e., a man that trusts God. He's trying to do good with his values, but he don't really like his family. His family is trash. You might be able to work around it. Women, y'all might be able to work around that because he might treat y'all like gold. But chances are it's going to be some damage situation somewhere within inside of him that he's going to have to face if y'all get together. So I would definitely prefer that if y'all go be with some man, let him work on himself first, right? So I do get those contexts. If a man and a woman don't want to get married in that situation, he ain't ready. Okay, I get it. But let's add the other one to it. What does his intentions look like when it comes to women? If you ask me, And I'm an open book. I was not the best of man when it came to women when I was in college. Was not the best. I'm gonna tell you. When I said let the man work on his issues, this is what I mean by that. So going through high school, all of my like adolescent years, I was just fat, like just big boy fat, like just can you see it? If you know what I mean, you get it. Can you see it? Nah, I can't really see it today. I was fat. So when I got to college, I decided that I wanted to work out and I wanted to try to lose some weight and start eating right. And lo and behold, between freshman year, sophomore year, I lost 100 pounds. Give me a clap. I'm gonna give me a clap for that because I did good for that. Did good. But I didn't forget all of that trauma that I had in elementary, middle school, and high school. So if you were anything like me, which was I'm a Scorpio, I said, well, I'm going to be as spicy as I could be right now. I'm going to be Mr. Spice Man Jack. So what that consisted of was didn't treat women the best. I tried to get as many women as I could get. And that created more drama. Needless to say, that created more drama because I was bringing them into a broken system, right? I brought them into a broken system. I didn't feel like women would really hear where I was trying to come from. And then if I bagged them because I had a few muscles, then it's like, hey, it was what it was, right? You knew what this was before. Bringing a woman into a damaged situation. We don't want that. Just like we don't want, I hold everybody accountable. Just like we don't want women bringing men into a damaged situation. I believe everybody should go through counseling. I believe everybody should have somebody that they can listen to or that can listen to them. Because sometimes it's more important for somebody to hear you out and then help you work through your stuff. So, another thing. Why are certain men occupying so much of women's time? Right? So, I don't know if it was, I can't remember what comedian it was, but he said, how can you think about having sex when you broke? That was one of the best jokes ever. Because it's just like, yo, okay, I get it. Everybody does need somebody. Everybody needs some type of physical touch. And they need to be able to communicate with somebody, connect with somebody. That is important. It is important. But in the event that this ain't the season for you to connect with nobody emotionally, spiritually, or on a relational level, connect with your business, fellas. Fellas, connect. Get out here and I'm going to put it in perspective. I was married, or I've been married. I'm still married. I can't say I was, but I've been married. And I had to go through the time of figuring me out and figuring out what I was going to do as far as business, providing for me and my family. And think about this. I had to go through that period with a family. Hardest thing ever. So I would definitely advise fellas, if you ain't in a whole space, ain't the time to bring no woman into your space yet. Just wait. Hold off, big fella. Whoa, big fella. All right, something else. How are the fellas valuing time? How do we value time with the ladies? All right, what I mean by that is this. The interest that we have in the women, what are we doing with that time? Because last time I checked, a lot of fellas are just wanting to screw. I get it. If you're horny, they got what's the thing called? Y'all know what the thing is called? It's called it's a flower for women, but it's something else for men. Go get that. Like if you feel like you got to have some, don't bring somebody else into your stuff yet. Don't bring somebody into your mess, right? The intention. If your intention is only to be with that woman so you can have sex, don't do it. That is a human. That woman has her own stuff going on, don't bring it to your mess. It's not necessary. All right. Next thing, dating. All right, so I've been out the game for a few years, like, well, more than a few years. Was that a decade? I've been out over a decade. I've been out the game. So I don't know what y'all doing on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I don't know how y'all connecting with women, but I will say this. It seems like there's a hiccup in the translation, right? Because I hear a lot of fellas. I got a lot of fellas that might come to me and they say, well, big bro, I am trying to meet this woman and I'm trying to, meet Mrs. Right, but it seems like something always wrong. And when I say fellas, I'm talking about my friends got good jobs. They got good jobs, and they could easily provide, but I feel like there is a hiccup somewhere. Last week I talked about everybody putting emphasis on a six-figure man, and now putting emphasis on a six-figure woman. Like it's something that's weird in the translation that ain't really lining up, and I feel like that's aimed towards. Of course, it's still materialism. It's still people trying to figure out what they're doing with their life. It's all rooted in some type of insecurity. That's how I read it. But maybe, like I said last week, maybe you don't have to do 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. Sometimes you might just be cool with that 40,000 salary guy, and you make 40,000. Y'all got 80 together. Make something shake. Last time I checked, it don't cost that much to go on a cruise. Go to a cruise, have a little bit of fun, like do that kind of stuff. But you don't have to ball out in Maldives. If you can do it. But if not, don't put so much emphasis on that. All right. Now, also, what I've been hearing from a lot of women, and I want to go back to that value and the time, though. But what I'm hearing from a lot of women is the man's not valuing their point of view. And that's from the older ladies. I don't really have a lot of conversations with the 20 and under, and it'll be weird. It'll be kind of weird. I'm almost 40, so it'd be weird to have a conversation with them. But anyway, hearing their point of view. I know when it comes to being a man, I think a lot of times especially if it's a good man, I'll say that. If it's a good man that got his stuff together, that kind of has a laser focus on career, goals, all that stuff, it's going to be a little bit difficult for him to hear a point of view from a counterpart. And the reason is, for so long, the man had to figure out, okay, I need to eat. I need to go work. I need to go eat. Oh, I need a car. I need a car to get to work. I need somewhere to stay. I need this, and that. And a lot of fellas that's good, they've already lined up all of these line items that, whoever comes into my life, they just got to get with my program. That's just what it is. But I think when there's a woman of substance, whenever it's a woman of substance, I rarely hear a man say they don't want to hear her point of view. It's very rare. They want to hear a woman's point of view, especially if it's a woman of substance. So I was trying to decide whether I was going to talk about this or not on the pod, but I'm going to talk about it. Because again, I'm an open book. But so I was just scrolling IG, and as we all do, scrolling IG, and a message popped up in my DM. I want to read the name and all that stuff, but I'm not gonna do that. That'd be spicy. It is too spicy. But anyway, it was a proposal saying, "Yo, what's good?" This is a woman. Yo, what's good? So I was like, "What's up? Hello." Hello, how are you? Yo, I'm good. I see you in Atlanta doing this. You doing your thing. I got my own tractor-trailer business. When she said that, the first thing I could think of was, oh, she want to get on the podcast so she can promote her business on the pod. Cool. Tell me about your tractor-trailer business, and maybe we can promote it on the podcast. That wasn't what she was talking about. So she continues the conversation by saying, yeah, what do you do? So I said, I'm in real estate, podcast, this, and that. And she said, well, have you ever heard of being a sugar baby? So I'm like, sugar baby? Oh, what is that? So she's telling me, I said, what is that? Because I had an idea what a sugar baby was, but I ain't been out that long. So I said, for kicks and giggles, what's that? What's a sugar baby? So she was like, if I'm the sugar mama, you'll be the sugar baby. I was like, that's what y'all doing now? Like, I'm appalled. Women, ladies, y'all don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. So I proceeded and I said, I appreciate the offer, but I am happily married. Happily, emphasis on happily married. Some folks just married, they're not happy, whatever. But anyway, I said I'm happily married, and I'm gonna have to decline that offer. But do your thing. And it's radio silence. And then she comes back and says, well, I can understand your point of view, but so you don't want no woman to take care of you? So I was just like, this is weird. Is this where we are in the dating pool right now? And she told me how she was a 6-figure woman, this, and that. I was like, okay, 6-figure man. What that mean? What that mean? Like, women, y'all don't have to do this. Y'all don't have to do this. Please don't do this. Her doing that was very masculine. And I ended up saying, if you continue to do this type of stuff with fellas and you meet a real alpha man like me, they're not going to go for that. Change your delivery. Change up your delivery, because a good man ain't going to go for that. That's like a dude preferring for the woman to propose to him. I don't know how many fellas that 6 figures and up want a woman to propose to them. Like, no. That is, tighten up. Tighten up, young lady. Tighten up. All right, the next thing. In a traditional marriage, the man does pursue the woman. And women are normally okay with that. So why should the roles reverse? Y'all can help me understand on TikTok, because I am older. But why should the roles reverse if the woman is the aggressor trying to pursue the guy, and the man is just like, I'm a kept man? Like, I don't see it. Now, I will say this. I will say this. Thank you. I will say that when it comes to a woman pursuing a man, there are ways to do that, right? A good way. I'm going to give y'all a few examples. Some fellas might tell me up on YouTube, but I don't care. It's fine. It's an open platform. A good way of pursuing a man. Hey, big head. That's cute. Hey, big head. Me? You talking to me? Yeah, I saw you doing your thing, and I just got to salute you, King. Believe it or not, fellas be like, oh, you saluting me? You salute me? I'm the king? That's one thing. Another thing a woman can say, you look really handsome in what you got on. Like, and what's that smell? What smells like? What's that? Is that Creed? Dude be like, you smelling me? Yeah, but he ain't gonna say it like that. I'm gonna let y'all ladies know. He's not gonna. You talking to me like this? Me? You think I smell good and I look good? Oh, appreciate it. It's gonna sound like this. Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, it's a little something I threw on. Wasn't nothing crazy. Just let y'all know. But this, I make 6 figures and I own my own business and I'm a boss. Like, you want him to be your lady? Just think about it. All right. I done laying on that long enough. All right, then I came up with this concept, right? Just think about this. What if every single person, right, just on their social media, all the dating networks, what y'all got, Tinder and all that kind of stuff, if y'all put on y'all page, road work ahead, just put that on your profile picture, road work ahead if you're single. I think that is a good example, or it's a good indication of what type of relationship you're trying to get into. Because I tell you this, being in a monogamous relationship, you want to make sure that you're able to not only hear the person out and help them with their dreams, help them see a positive side of something. If it's all negative happening at the time, they want to make sure that you are the ultimate cheerleader in their corner. And that goes for men and women, right? But let's say as a man, you want to be cocky and you say, nah, if I want me a woman, my woman got to do everything that I say do. That's problematic. Big fella, you're not going to get a good woman like that. Like that's, so I would just like the single people to say, roll work ahead. That means everything that we do from this point on, we learning each other. We trying to figure out what we about to do. Oh, you want to do this drink? Well, I want to do this drink. How can I help you do this drink? How can I help you do this drink? I want to do this. Like, help each other get into the space of fullness, right? I think what a lot of social media sells, and some of it's tacky, but I think a lot of social media sells, girl, go get yours, girls trip, broken relationships, i.e., why did I get married? I love the movie. Movie's fire. But the subject matter is not healthy for a relationship, especially if you don't want to be alone in your 50s. Now, if you don't mind that, fine. Keep doing what you're doing. But I'm just saying, like, I think everybody has to get to the point where they're at least trying to hear out the partner, whether it's a woman, whether it's a man, whatever it is, and grow with that person, help that person. I've nailed that in the ground long enough, so y'all get it. Another thing, everybody, especially my ladies, I want y'all to hear me out on this one. All right, everybody got something to work on, right? And when I say that, I mean everybody, including y'all, right? What happens is, and I'm only speaking from experience, so if it's anybody else that has another point of view, I'm always open to that. I'm always willing to learn. But for coming from where I'm coming from, I've noticed a lot of times when it comes to the black community, the woman wants to be heard. And then when the man tries to talk, she interjects again to be heard. Instead of just letting him voice what he's feeling, let him voice what thoughts might be in his mind. That's how we get. I'm not gonna speak on that man, but that's how we get certain situations where people off themselves and they self-transition, right? Everybody got something to work on. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is in the space of just knowing, like this voila, ding, the bell rings, all this. No, everybody got something to work on. And I think some of the perfect examples of that would be Will Smith and Jada. Nobody likes Will and Jada's relationship has been on the line for a while now, and nobody likes the way that they do their relationship. I get it. Some stuff might be a little bit far-fetched, but guess what? It works for them in certain aspects. They figured out what works for them, and who are we to say that they can't just keep doing what they're doing, right? Last but not least, on this part of the pod, I just would like for women and men. Maybe I might try to do a sit down with women on this side, men on this side, and we kind of facilitate expectations. So I think that's one thing too. Like, if nobody knows what the expectation is of the other partner, they're not gonna ever deliver. You gotta voice it, right? And I realize that voicing an expectation might be a little touchy because everybody would normally take offense to something that they've said that they might take offense to anything that they're saying that they're not doing right. Case in point, I'm not going to use sex again. I used sex on a few pods ago. If you want to hear it, go to the other pod. It's like 30 pods ago, something like that. But finances, this is a perfect one. If you set the expectations on finances in your marriage in the beginning, then if some hiccups come in between and y'all have a healthy line of communication, both of y'all end up starting to work towards whatever it was to get back into a good space financially. Instead of you hold back and you never talk about the finances, you never set the expectation, and then when all hell breaks loose, it's just like, oh, I don't know what to do. I never expected this. We don't have a plan. That's what I mean by that. Family. Setting expectations with the family. If you know that you're going to be married and you're going to be with this person for the rest of your life, and this person has a whole nother family wherever they're from, the holidays come up, guess what? Y'all got to figure out whose house y'all going to, how long y'all going to be there, and enjoy it. Because I'll say this, I've heard it too many times. The man gets married, or whenever a couple gets married, the man leaves his family and goes towards the wife's family. All right, I get that. I understand it. But that does not mean we have to neglect our family. We don't have to neglect our family to be a part of our spouse's family. Everybody can incorporate their families together. Like, do a joint Christmas gathering. Do a joint something. Like, go to the beach together. Do something together. All right. And hopefully we covered all the women not being parking spaces. All right. I had a story for you. And I hope he's cool with me telling it. But if he's not, he'll comment. So I had a buddy of mine. He's been with this girl. I think he's been with her for 5 years, 6 years, something like that. Been together for a few years. And he's trying to figure out when is a good time to get married. So I have a few questions. My questions sound like this. Do y'all stay together? Yeah. Okay. Mark that off. Okay. When bills come, are you paying all of her bills, or do you pay some of them, or how does that work? Oh, I pay everything. Okay. Check. Do y'all have kids together? Yeah, we got about 2 or 3 kids. Oh, check. So why aren't you married? Because when you look at it on the paper, you're already doing the marriage stuff, things that married people do. You're already doing it. So lock it in. The reason I say this, you don't want to hold off on getting married and you're doing married things and something happens to you. Case in point, you die. Right? You die, especially if you got a good job, you die. You got a good 401k plan. You got a life insurance. You got $1 million policy here. You might have a few $1 million policies. And you pass and you're not married. What is that woman obligated to from you that you were taking care of? Think about it. Now, if you say, all right, well, I'm going to be a prick, and I hate that word, prick. Who came up with the word prick? That's lame. But anyway, I'm going to be on myself. I'm going to be stuck on myself, and I don't care what happens. My money go to my mama. Oh, that's real grown up of you, big dog. Get married. If y'all got kids, you stay in the house together, y'all own the mortgage together, all that, like, get married. Matter of fact, she might want you to do a courthouse marriage. But if you're scared to say something because you say, what we got going on now works, bruh, no, we don't do that. We're not doing that. Not in 2023, we're not doing that. Let's not do that. All right. So on to our other segment of the pod. Success is inevitable. I love this part. So this is a new section that I came up with while I was starting to brainstorm how the pod should look. Because everybody knows that the Mad Lucrative podcast is about being healthy with our mind, spirit, soul, body, finances, and relationships. right? That's the whole premise of this pod. So, Success is Inevitable is a segment that I want to introduce to a lot of musicians, a lot of actors, artists, everybody that gets beat up when it comes to the career that they chose. And I'm not saying that in a funny way. Like, it sounds lame, but we all have a certain gift that we're given, right? Some people feel like their gift is a curse. I've been there before, and I think if we have the concept that success is inevitable, then you'll make it through it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. So, I got a few points I wanna bring out. So, when saying success is inevitable, there comes plans. You have to implement plans, and you got to implement tactic, schedules to get the inevitable success to work. So, first question is, and this is stuff I like y'all to write down. Y'all write it down on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you at. Write it down. How are you tracking the progress of your success? How have you written down the process? Do you even know what you're aiming for? Right? So for me, when it comes to investing, my aim is to try to do a property a year. I want to buy a property every year. And then by the next 10 years, I have 10 properties that would have replaced all of my income, and I can pretty much do what I feel like doing, along with the retirement from my 9 to 5, along with the other like placements I produce for and all them folk. All those residual income sources, I can get that. But I'm tracking my progress by how many properties I'm able to buy. Sometimes I might have to buy a property from me doing a house, like flipping a house or doing the kitchen or doing the bathrooms for somebody, like doing the remodel work, right? For y'all, tracking your progress might be, okay, on social media, I need to make sure I post once a day. And then by the time I get, I think, what's Instagram now? It's 10,000 followers. By the time you get 10,000 followers on IG, then you can monetize. And then now I got to post 2 times a day so I can meet a certain threshold so I can make this kind of money. Tracking. Like, put something in place where you can track your progress. Now, you might see where you post 1 post a week. I highly doubt it. But you might post 1 post a week and it does really, really good. And you shoot up 10,000 followers like that. Okay, well, now it's time to turn up the heat. You got to keep pushing out the content. And you got to make sure that the content lines up with what you did the last time. Because that's why they came to your page. Right? I know as creators, we like to get into certain spaces where we don't want to be pigeonholed. And I do this type of sound. I write this type of song. But sometimes it don't matter. The people will tell you. It's perfect example of that is this pod, today's pod. When I first started doing all the podcasts, and like I said, I'm approaching episode 70 now, 70, and I got other podcasts on top of this one where I interview people. But when I first started, nobody was trying to hear a musician teach other musicians about finances. Like, I want to see you make a beat. You've been making beats for the last 10 years. Why are you trying to talk to me right now? Make a beat. That's some of the stuff I had to go through. It took me about 1.5 years to start rebranding and getting into the space of coaching where people actually trust what I say. And I got examples of people that's been successful by the way of me telling them to do something. Hey, Tanya. It took about 1.5 years to rebrand and get into this space, right? But I've been tracking the progress the whole time. If I would have started doing this and I never pivoted and nobody started paying attention, I started building no fan base, I was never monetizing on YouTube. After 2 years, I'd be like, all right, it's time to do something else. But I think a lot of us quit stuff way too early. Like, now ain't time to quit if you just started and you just started building some momentum. Right? My 2 cents. Another thing. Are you happy with the progress that you're getting? If you're not happy with the progress that you're getting based off of the plan that you set up for yourself, then it's time to change up. Perfect example of that for me is losing weight. Something happened Something happened between my oldest being born and my youngest being born. And I wasn't even pregnant, but I felt like I put on pregnant weight. Right? I said last summer, and there was some other health things that I've talked about before on social, but I said last summer, I said, you know what? I'm going to cut weight. I'm going to get sexy by 40, which is, I got a whole nother, like, the end of this year. I got to get sexy by 40 because I want to be healthy enough to do some running with my girls. If I want to go swimming, I can go swimming with them, jump on the trampoline, all the fun stuff the dads do. But I said I need to cut weight. What I started doing, I started leaving out some of the sweets that I like to eat. On my commutes to work, I stopped doing some of the fast foods that I preferred to eat. Firehouse subs. Firehouse sub. I like, I'm about to eat that. Arby's. Yeah, let me get all of it. The meats, bring the meats. Chick-fil-A, get the big size. Got to get the big size. If it ain't the big size, I ain't gonna get full. So I gotta get the big size. I cut all that out. I said, okay, I dropped 10 pounds. Let me keep going. Let me start working out. Start working out with it. Cut another 10 pounds. I said, you know what? Instead of working out at home, let me start working out at the gym. Start working out at the gym, another 10 pounds. 30 pounds down now. But, again, I started tracking my progress. Now, if I started doing all of that stuff, and I'm going to let y'all know, if you the youngins on TikTok, Facebook, whoever's live right now, I'm going to let you know, when you're past 30, stuff gets harder. It's harder to lose weight. It's hard to gain muscle. Everything's more difficult. I'm just letting you know up front. But, yeah, I started having to do some stuff differently. And I was not happy with the progress at first, but now I'm hella happy. I'm good. Another thing, when you start tracking your progress and you start seeing that you're happy with your results, something happens called plateau. When you plateau after having a winning season, nothing happens. It's like I said, cutting weight, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, cutting all the weight, cutting weight. After a certain point, it just hit a brick wall. Body looks the same for a month. You're eating tight still. You're still putting in all your work, but nothing's happening. I see no progress. At that point, you do have to start figuring out what you're going to do differently and start marking off the list. Okay, I cut this last time. Maybe I need to eat more of this. Right? For me, I learned that I had to take a real cheat day because my cheat days would consist of like pancakes, eggs, bacon. Not just cheat for one meal. That worked for the first 3 or 4 months. It worked for the first 3 or 4 months, but after I hit that plateau, even me eating that cheat meal, I wasn't cutting no weight. I wasn't seeing no results. What I did differently, I upped the cheat meal. I had 2 cheat meals in that weekend. Added that second cheat meal, went to go work out on Monday. I'm looking ripped. I'm like, oh, okay, you got to change up some stuff. But some people, you might have to cut back more. Like, it's just, you got to play with it. But in business, it's the same thing. You work hard, you see your progress, you make the money that you want to make, you see the relationships come to pass that you need to come to pass to move forward, and you hit the brick wall. All those relationships you got is the same people. Same circles. You be like, oh, I see you again this week. Yeah, I see you again. At that point, if you've been making money, guess what? Now it's time to start putting some money back into your business. You might have to pay to be in some rooms. You might have to pay for certain coaching calls. I will pay for coaching in a minute. If it's somebody that I know is legit, I'm going to pay for the coaching. And I saw that floating around on I think Instagram. Never pay for somebody to coach you that don't have a coach. You can pay me, I'll coach you, right? I'd love to coach you. But if I didn't have a coach or a mentor, don't pay me nothing. Don't pay me, because guess what? I'm gonna be recycling information, and at some point, me and you gonna be on the same level because I'm not growing. And what I expect for anybody that I coach, if I'm coaching you, make sure you learn from me, I learn from you, whatever, right? But at some point, I want you to get on the level that I'm at. Because once you get on the level that I'm at, I should be on the next level. Once you get to that level, I should be on the next level. Like, everybody should come up. Up. Cardi B, right? But I think that might be enough for this week because I don't want to try to bore y'all. But make sure you keep that in the back of your mind. Success is inevitable if you put the work in. If you put the work in. I see we got one person left on TikTok. But TikTok is it's difficult for me to understand who's here, who's not. Like, I just see people leave, come and leave. But whatever. But yeah, this has been good. Hopefully, I did a decent job caping for the women. Caping for the women this episode, because I know someone was like, I don't treat my man like he's a car. Okay, you're 1 out of 1,000. Whatever. But yeah, I think everybody just has to get on the same page and don't shy away from the conversation. By the way, if y'all hadn't already got it, get my book, The Recession Prep Kit. The Recession Prep Kit is out now. And if you're trying to be a producer or anything else, get my other book, Playbook to Production. And I think what I'm gonna do next week, I might start breaking down chapters of each book based off of what's needed. But I think we're gonna be all right, y'all. Everything gonna be good. We're gonna be good. So until next week, it's been real. Peace.